Welcome back, Camily. Man, it has been quite a long time since I've talked to you guys. I tried filming this a few times. I posted a little Christmas vlog earlier this week, and other than that, I haven't posted anything in about a month. By the way, if you haven't watched that video, it just makes me feel like so nostalgic for my old videos. I don't know how to explain it. I filmed it on my old camera from back in the day. We spent Christmas with Landon's parents, and we always used to film videos there when we were visiting. And just the way I edited it, everything about that video just felt very similar to my older videos. And I don't know, I just had a lot of fun with that video, which I think is exactly what I needed. I just needed to film something fun and lighthearted. Because yeah, like I said, I took a bit of a break. Last time I didn't post for that long, I was in a treatment center. So understandably, there was some people who were concerned and just wondering where I was and how I'm doing. And yeah, I wasn't quite at the point where I was gonna check myself into a treatment center again, but you know, kind of close to that point. It was a really rough month. There's several reasons why it was just really hard. Seasonal depression gets me pretty much every year around this time. And then along with that, the kids were on winter break. So the combination of like being super depressed, still having to take care of the kids full time, it led to me just feeling very stuck. And when I'm feeling that way, there's just like this freeze response that kicks in, and it's really hard for me to do anything. I just feel frozen in time. I was really just doing the bare minimum, keeping the kids safe and alive and fed. And that's all I could manage to do at that time. I did try to film a few videos actually. I at least like got out my camera and sat down and tried to talk about how I felt, because I don't want to just act like everything's fine when I'm feeling that low. I promised myself I would never do that again. I was just really not in a place to talk about that and to be that vulnerable and share that with everyone, which usually isn't really hard for me, but with how much guilt and shame I was feeling about my lack of productivity, the last thing I wanted was to share that with everyone, knowing that there's gonna be people who have never dealt with depression, who just simply don't understand and can't wrap their head around just how paralyzing it can be sometimes. I just wasn't ready to open myself up to that criticism. And that still remains true. Like, there's gonna be people who just don't know what it's like and can't fathom feeling that paralyzed by depression and all of the guilt and anxiety and stress that comes along with just feeling like you're not able to do the things that you need to do, and how that can dig you into an even deeper hole. If you've never experienced that, it can just sound lazy or like an excuse. But I'm in a better place now, and I can understand that they don't understand, and that's that. But it's always been really important to me for the people who do understand to speak up about those things and share that they're not alone. And I'm not alone. And I still feel kind of shitty about it, and it sucks. I missed out on a lot in the last month, and I was just trying to stay afloat and kind of failing at that at times. Like, me not posting for a month and not making any income isn't really me staying afloat, you know? Yeah, that's pretty bad, but that's also the reality of depression. But like I said, feeling a lot better, and I'm here now and I'm ready to post again, and I thought I would do a Q&A today to kind of catch you guys up, as well as just answer any questions you guys have. The first question is, do you have any plans or goals for the new year? Which is actually a great place to start, because I feel like I kind of formed my goals, my New Year's resolution, and really went into this year just coming out of a really bad place. And I think because of that, this year I was able to be really realistic with myself and realistic with my goals. And I think that's usually my downfall, is setting goals that are just completely unattainable and trying to set some kind of routine for myself that I know isn't sustainable in the long run. And there's all these things that I like want to be able to do every day, and there's periods of time where I am able to do them every day pretty consistently for a while, but then I just end up super burnt out. In the month of October, I did yoga, journaled, read a book, cleaned the house every night, went to bed with no dishes in the sink, did my skincare every day, drank nearly a gallon of water, went outside and got some sunlight. Every single day I did all of those things. And you know, it feels great. It feels great when I can do all of those things in a day. But eventually journaling and doing yoga, it started to feel like a chore, and it kind of hurt more than it helped at some points. There was other things that I should have been focusing on, like real tangible adult things that needed to get done, but I was patting myself on the back that I did yoga that day. So to kind of just clear up some mental space and focus on the things that are really gonna move me forward and not just give me this illusion of, oh, I like checked all the things off the list today and I was productive and I can say that I've like done these things. But in reality, when I fill my day with like keeping up with my little habits, it doesn't leave a ton of room for working towards those bigger goals. So yeah, I was really able to reframe my New Year's resolutions this year to be realistic and to have balance and to leave room for making a lot of little steps towards a larger goal, which those larger goals include posting more on YouTube and really putting my heart into it, like filming things that I want to film. I don't know, there's just kind of been this resistance lately when it comes to filming, and I've kind of worked through and found the root of that resistance, and I'm just feeling really motivated and ready to like be inspired again and want to share things again. Another thing is that I'm launching my photography website and just really launching my business this year. I've spent the last 5 months just building a portfolio, trying to get to this point where I feel ready to consistently take on clients with my photography. That's one thing I will give myself credit for. While I was taking a break from YouTube and really having a hard time, I did at least do a few photo shoots. That's something that kind of dragged me out of my slump and got me outside and got me feeling inspired again. So yeah, just really focusing on work and my photography. You know, I'm turning 23 this year and I just kind of had a wake-up call. There's some certain things that I've been slacking on, like my credit score and just, you know, adult stuff, boring stuff, things that by the age of 23, you kind of have to have figured out, and there's not much of an excuse you can make anymore. I feel like I've been really fearful of those things, and it's led me to feel really incompetent and incapable, and like that stuff is hard and confusing and I don't get it, so I'm just going to avoid it. But this is the year of figuring it out and taking control, taking things into my own hands, and being an adult, and realizing that that alone becomes so much easier, so much less scary, and is not as hard as you would think once you just do it, once you just figure it out. And now that I have been really trying to sort those things out, it's making me realize how anxious that inaction has been making me feel for the last several years. There's just this big pile of things that I've been avoiding and not wanting to think about and putting on the back burner, and I'll figure that out later. And a lot of them, the more they sit there, the more they build up, it's gonna come around and bite me in the ass. So to finally confront those things, it's helped me build a lot more confidence, and a lot of the day-to-day stress that I didn't even realize I was carrying because of those things has been alleviated. And I think a lot of those feelings contributed to my depressive episode last month. Just knowing how much I needed to get done that I wasn't doing, yeah, it sucked. So hopefully after I kind of clear some space and get those things done and launch my business and get the ball rolling with that and feel like I'm able to keep up with the YouTube videos consistently, maybe then I can start to focus on journaling more and doing yoga and writing a book, some of those more mundane habit building type of things. But I'm not even stressing those right now. Next question. Any exciting shoots coming up? I actually just did a photo shoot earlier this week with the girls, and it was probably one of my favorite shoots. I haven't done a photo shoot with the girls in quite a while, so it was cool to see how much they've grown since then, and also how much my photography skills have grown since then. I actually put a model call on my Instagram for any families who live in Austin, because that's the last few things I need for my portfolio and for my website is some family photo shoots. And I was pretty surprised to see quite a few people reach out, and I ended up narrowing it down to 3 different families that I'm gonna do free photo shoots for. It's a win-win. I get some photos for my portfolio, they get free photos. And it's also gonna be my last free photo shoot, which feels like a pretty big milestone. I've just been shooting and practicing and learning. I'm really proud of where I'm at. I'm confident in my skills now, confident enough to start charging people for my photos. And I feel like I took my time with it and didn't rush it. And I've also gotten a lot of great feedback from professionals, people who have an eye for photos, who have seen my photos and told me that I'm there, that the quality's there, that I should be charging for my photos. So yeah, it's been a long road and it's really rewarding to be at this place now. While I am excited to start making money from photo shoots, I'm just as excited to get that experience of photographing someone that I don't really know. I've photographed pretty much all of my friends and family, but it is a little bit nerve-wracking to do a photo shoot with someone that I've never really met. But at least they know me, like they follow me on Instagram. That's another thing that I'm really excited about this year, is just meeting new people through my business. Just doing YouTube for the past 5 years, I've kind of become a hermit, and my job does not require me to go out into the world and to meet people. So it'll be cool to just kind of make connections with people who live in the area. Hopefully some of my clients will turn into friends, who knows. Favorite songs at the moment. I've been really loving this album called I've Got Me by Joanna Sternberg. Also Something on Your Mind by Angel Olsen is such a good song, and I probably listen to it like every day for the past few weeks. Any advice for 2 under 2? All I can really say is that it gets so much easier pretty quickly. Like, you're gonna blink and they're gonna be a lot older and it's gonna be so infinitely easier. I look back on when I had a toddler and a baby, and it is so crazy to me that I did that, that I held it together. And you're probably gonna look back and be like, wow, I don't know how I did that. That was so hard, but here I am. Do you see yourself getting in another relationship this year? I've thought about it a little bit. I was talking to my sister, because I've been single for officially 2 years now. Well, in a few days. In a few days, it'll be 2 years since my breakup, which it feels like much longer than that. I think last year, I kind of had the mindset, especially at the beginning of the year, like, my person could be right around the corner, like, who knows? Any second now, the person that's right for me, that I've been waiting for all this time, is just gonna fall right into my lap. And then that didn't happen, and it doesn't work like that. And then I tried to put myself out there and went on a few dates. I think in total I went on like 3 first dates last year. And with one of those people, continued to see them for another like 4 or 5 dates. But ultimately, nothing led anywhere. And yeah, I just kind of realized it is rare. It's rare to find that person. And just that true, genuine love, it's a lot more rare than I once thought. So yeah, I think over time in the last year, I started to kind of realize maybe it's not right around the corner. Maybe it will be quite a while until that happens. And I'm not gonna settle for anything less. I'm not gonna entertain a relationship that I don't see a ton of potential with. And I really have no interest in like dating around at this point. So yeah, it's not looking good. As far as my expectations go, going into this new year, I do not see myself prioritizing trying to find a relationship, and it just doesn't feel like this is the time. There's a lot of other really important things that I'm trying to focus on, and I just kind of feel like maybe that will be my reward from the universe after I figure everything out, after I've met certain goals and gotten to a place where I'm feeling a lot more confident just in my like ability to be independent and to tackle these things on my own. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just get to feel independent and happy and proud of myself all on my own, which I've really come to accept and am pretty happy with just that. So yeah, it could happen. I think if it were to happen, it'd probably be towards the end of this year. For the foreseeable future, within the next like 5 months, I really don't see myself getting into a relationship. Are you happy with where you are now? Again, just kind of coming out of a period of being really unhappy with where I was. I'm feeling a lot better now. Like I'm happy with where I am right now. Even within the last week, everything I've worked through internally, everything I've been able to accomplish, just with a few days of the girls being back in school finally. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better, so that's good. If you could give your 19-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be? Whew. I think if anyone needs some advice, it's my 19-year-old self. I was 19 in 2020, and that year started with like COVID insanity and being super pregnant and having a really hard time. And I ended that year a widow with 2 kids, with a newborn. I think I'd just tell myself that, like, you will figure it out. It's all going to be okay at the end. The way that everything has happened, it's all played out how it was meant to, and I've needed to feel all the things that I felt, as hard as it was, and I needed to discover myself and then lose myself and discover myself again, and I've needed to look back and feel like, oh my gosh, what was I doing back then? I cannot believe that. All of these things that were really hard and really intense, I'm so grateful for. So yeah, I would just say, let it happen. Let all of it happen because it needs to happen. Favorite movie of 2023? I've watched a lot of good movies this year. Let me see. I'm gonna have to say Saltburn. Maybe that's because I just watched it, so it's the freshest on my mind, but I don't know, I really liked it, and I watched a lot of older movies this year. I didn't see a ton of like new releases, which I think that's what the question is asking. I also did see Priscilla in theaters this year, which was cool, as well as Beau is Afraid. I liked them all. They're all really good. If you want to follow my Letterboxd, right here. Last question, what's new? I don't know, I feel like I just de-thawed. This last month was especially hard, as I've said, but I really haven't felt great since like October. Like mid-October, I really started to spiral downwardly and have just been struggling ever since. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird feeling. I feel like I don't have a ton to show for in the last few months other than just like doing the bare minimum. With how shitty I was feeling, still feels like an accomplishment to have done the bare minimum. There's times when I haven't even managed that, hence me going to a facility. So yeah, that alone feels like somewhat of an accomplishment to be able to cope a little better than I have in the past when I get like that. But yeah, in a weird way, like nothing's new other than the fact that like I'm back. I also feel like I'm on the cusp of a lot of newness and a lot of transition. Ask me that again here in the next few months and I'll probably have a better answer for you. I dyed my eyebrows last night. That's new. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I know it wasn't the most interesting video, but I just kind of felt the need to catch you guys up a bit and really just get back in the flow. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, Camely.